Good afternoon and welcome to our midday briefing. Today is Monday, the 9th of March. Let me start with a brief update to President von der Leyen's agenda for this week. As you may already know, the President, together with President of the European Council, António Costa, will hold a video conference with Middle East leaders today. Now, tomorrow, the College of Commissioners meets in Strasbourg, and we have several things to announce in this respect. The College will discuss several files on energy, with communications on energy and citizens, clean energy investments, and the development of small modular reactors in Europe. Executive Vice President Ribera and Commissioner Jorgensen will present this energy package tomorrow in the European Parliament's press room. Before the readout of the College, we will organise a technical briefing off the record tomorrow at 2 p.m. here in Brussels. We will send these details in writing via our usual communication channels, as well as the exact time of the readout. Ensuite, comme vous le savez peut-être déjà, deux réunions du Conseil ont lieu aujourd'hui à Bruxelles. D'une part, les ministres de l'économie et des finances se réunissent pour une réunion de l'Eurogroupe. Les commissaires Dombrovskis, Albuquerque et Jorgensen représentent la Commission à cette réunion. Parmi les points à l'ordre du jour figurent les développements macroéconomiques dans la zone euro. Cet après-midi, les ministres discuteront des évolutions récentes dans le domaine de la finance numérique, des prix de l'énergie et de leurs implications pour l'économie de la zone euro dans le contexte de la crise au Moyen-Orient, ainsi que de la préparation du sommet de la zone euro qui se tiendra le 19 mars. Le commissaire Dombrovskis participera à la conférence de presse à l'issue de la réunion aux alentours de 19 heures. Avant la réunion de l'Eurogroupe, le commissaire Dombrovskis participera à la réunion virtuelle des ministres des Finances et des gouverneurs des banques centrales du G7, consacrée à la situation économique mondiale et au conflit au Moyen-Orient. De leur côté, les ministres européens de l'emploi, de la politique sociale, de la santé et de la consommation se réunissent également aujourd'hui pour une réunion du Conseil à Bruxelles. La Commission sera représentée par la vice-présidente exécutive Minzatu et le commissaire Jorgensen. La stratégie pour l'égalité entre les femmes et les hommes 2026-2030 et la stratégie contre le racisme sont à l'ordre du jour. Les ministres se concentreront également sur les solutions de logement à travers l'Europe. Les emplois de qualité seront également abordés et plus précisément l'utilisation de l'intelligence artificielle pour renforcer la qualité de l'emploi et les droits des travailleurs. Une conférence de presse à laquelle participera la vice-présidente exécutive Minzatu suivra la réunion vers 17h15. Comme d'habitude, je vous invite à réserver vos questions sur les thèmes qui seront abordés aujourd'hui par les deux conseils lors des conférences de presse respectives auxquelles participeront nos membres du collège. Finally, let me welcome a group of visitors joining us today. I am told you're journalists from Cyprus, here in a visit organised by our colleagues in the Council. So a warm welcome to you all. We're very happy to see you here. We hope you enjoy your trip and we hope you enjoy the learnings you gain here at the EU institutions. That's it from our side. We can now turn to your questions. Mose, kick us off.
Yes, I would like to ask you about your announcement about this video conference by the presidents with the Middle East leaders. I wonder if you have any information about which leaders are going to participate in that video conference and what issues might be discussed. I wonder, will the EU propose some kind of mediation in order to find a diplomatic solution to the ongoing war, or will it perhaps even offer some material help, especially to the Gulf countries, which are also heavily targeted by missiles and drones from Iran? Thank you.
Thanks for the question, Mose. I'm not going to say too much about the meeting before it has taken place. I think we can say with some assurance that it's important that the meeting happens. It's important to take stock and touch base with leaders in the region. We will let you know how we communicate after the meeting, but we're not going to say anything for now, with your kind understanding. Thanks very much. Other questions over here?
Thank you, Olaf. It's Nicholas Kohlmeier for Euractiv. Can you confirm whether the President will tomorrow meet the Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico, as he announced on Sunday? And can you update us, maybe this is one for Anna Kaiser then, on the state of progress of the fact-finding mission at the Druzhba pipeline and the state of the imminent sort of oil supply shock in the region? Thank you.
Thanks for your question, Nicholas. On the first, we don't have confirmation of the details of the meeting yet. As soon as we have them, we'll let you know. But right now, we don't have a time and place tied down. And for your second question, I'll hand you over to Anna Kaiser.
On Druzhba fact-finding, I do not have any updates to offer today. We are where we were last week, intense contacts both with the Ukrainian side and our work with those member states that are concerned by this. That work continues, and we will update you when we get further details. Then you asked about the impact of the Middle East or the conflict in the Middle East. We are far less concerned about the security of supply than we are of the high energy prices. This moment is a perfect reminder to focus on strengthening our energy independence and resilience, and we have been doing this for years. For example, just to give you an example, thanks to our diversification strategy, the direct impact on the Middle Eastern conflict on energy markets remains limited in the short term. Europe is well prepared, despite high exposure to global markets, as a net energy importer. And why is this? We have well-diversified gas supply. We moved away from dependency on one supplier to a mix of pipeline and LNG supply from global suppliers. The same goes for oil. Our supplies are diversified and they're complemented by strategic reserves. And our supply of both oil and gas is diversified across global markets. And the second point why the impact remains limited for now is that we do not import oil or gas from Iran. Our largest suppliers of gas are Norway via pipeline and the US via LNG. So what we do now is to focus on strengthening our energy markets here. We will tomorrow be presenting the Citizens' Energy Package, which is very much focused on speeding up investments into clean energies and technologies. To remind you, those member states where the electricity prices are the lowest are the member states where there's the highest share of renewables and clean energies in their energy mix. We want to reduce our dependency on imported fossil fuels, and we want to create opportunities and growth for our industry. And importantly, we want to reduce energy bills for citizens and businesses. And this is something to look forward to tomorrow, which will be presented at the college meeting in Strasbourg.
Thank you, Anna Kaiser. You have a follow-up.
Thank you for that, but I was specifically asking about the supply situation in southeastern Europe, where they began releasing oil stocks long before the crisis, which suggests to me that they must be on the cusp of running out. Can you confirm whether there is a locational oil supply shortage imminent in Europe?
There is no imminent oil supply shortage in Europe. Per our rules, all member states must have the 90 days emergency stocks. This was put in place during the recent energy crisis. That means that all member states are between 85 to 90 days of stocks or equivalent, even including Hungary and Slovakia, who have reported to us that they have released some stocks, but that was not related to the conflict in the Middle East. It means that member states, they will have to notify the Commission when they release these stocks. According to our knowledge, for the moment, no member state has done this. There's an oil coordination group that meets this Thursday, and we will have probably, again, an overall picture of the situation, but this is where we are at the moment. And there is a specific, this is not related to oil though, but there is a specific task force, energy union task force meeting this afternoon dedicated to the southeastern Europe region, where 8 member states concerned will be discussing electricity prices, but it's not related to oil. But to your questions on oil, we do not see any concern or emergency situation for the moment.
Thank you, Anna-Kaisa. Other questions for Anna-Kaisa? Carl.
Carl de Meyer for Les Echos. It's a follow-up, Anna-Kaisa. If need be, like if the situation escalates in the Middle East, is there a way for the EU to increase supplies from Norway and the US? I mean, is there like enough capacities for LNG, for instance? Are there enough terminals in Europe to increase the deliveries? And can you give us an idea of the extent of the price increases?
On the first question, these are of course questions that will be discussed in the coordination group amongst all member states, where there will be a broad overview of who is where and how where their national stocks are, whether these kind of measures are needed for the time being. This has not been activated. This is not something that is of concern, but we have these forums precisely for that purpose. And then your second question on the energy price, I'm not sure I understood you. You wanted to ask if the situation continues, or what was the...
And already right now, have you noticed sharp price increases? In what extent, and what do you expect for the future?
Well, first of all, we do not comment on market prices. That's one point. I suppose we have all seen the reports of rising energy prices due to the movements in global markets. We follow them with concern. We have our actions in place. We have our toolboxes in place from the previous energy crisis, or the recent energy crisis, where we took extensive measures to make sure that our member states are able to take action when needed. We're not there now, and we do not have a comment to make on the prices as such, except that we do follow the increases with some concern.
Thank you, Anna-Kaisa. Other questions for Anna-Kaisa? I'll just go online first to Tommaso.
Yes, good afternoon. Many thanks for the floor. Can you hear me?
Yes, Tommaso. We can't see you yet, though.
That's strange, because I activated my camera. Let me see. Yeah, it seems active, but it doesn't work. Okay.
Yeah, see if you can fix your camera. I'll come back to you in a while, Tommaso. Okay. Jorge.
Hello. Yes, it's also an energy for you, Anna-Kaisa. First, on oil, you said that there's no supply shortage, that everything for the time being it's okay. But how does the Commission feel about a potential release of reserves in order to calm the prices that we've seen spiraling in recent days, reaching more than 100 today? And second, on gas, as you said, we're not dependent on the Middle East as a LNG provider, but Asian countries are dependent on the Middle East, and they are not able to get this LNG now. Do you see any potential redirection of flows of LNG from the United States to Asian countries, which could increase competition with Europe and drive up prices? Do you see this happening now? Thank you.
On your first question on the oil reserve stocks, there is a discussion at the G7 on this today, and they will determine the next steps. And we have our oil coordination group then on Thursday that will take stock of that discussion. So that question would be more for the G7. On gas, I do not have any particular comment to make on the flows that you mentioned. From our point of view, for the moment, the situation is under control. Energy supply in Europe remains stable. We, of course, closely monitor developments with member states through the dedicated task force on energy security, and we, of course, also stay in touch with the International Energy Agency on this. And we do not have any reason for concern about immediate gas supply. We are much better prepared than we were in 2022, the last time gas was cut by Russia. We are much more diversified. We're far less dependent on suppliers from the region than we used to be in Russia.
Thanks.
And sorry, just to add also, the gas storage levels are still sufficiently high to cover the rest of the winter, rest of the heating season.
Thank you, Anna-Kaisa. And just to add that Anwar maybe might complement what Anna-Kaisa said about the safeguarding of maritime routes via naval operations. We can take that when afterwards. Let's stick with questions for Anna-Kaisa right now. Tommaso, do you want to try again?
Yeah, can you hear me and see me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, thanks. Good afternoon, Tommaso Galavati in Kronos, Italy. It's just a question, kind of a follow-up. It's on Azerbaijan, because I've seen a certain movement in the last days, which is natural, as it is a huge supplier of gas. I wonder if the European Union has plans to increase the import of gas from Azerbaijan, and if it is feasible. Many thanks.
Again, we remain in very close contact with Azerbaijan on this as well. Commissioner Jorgensen was there as part of the Southern Gas Corridor ministerial meeting last week in Baku. And, of course, Azerbaijan, an important supplier to the European Union. We stay in contact on that, and obviously the role of Southern Gas Corridor is significant in securing or ensuring energy security to Europe.
Thank you, Anna-Kaisa. Do we have other questions for Anna-Kaisa on the topics she covers? Don't see any hands in the room or online. So, Anwar, do you mind coming up just to go through the work we're doing on maritime routes? Oh, yes. Go ahead, Sachio. Go ahead.
I'm so sorry, Sachio from NHK, the Japanese TV station. I'm just wondering, I'm very sorry since I came a little bit late if this was already answered, but Hungary's Prime Minister Orban has said that he has sent a letter to President von der Leyen to suspend all sanctions on Russian energy, and I'm just wondering if what the Commission has in mind to take on the next steps.
Thanks, Sachio. I saw this reporting as well. I'll have to check if we've received the letter or not and come back to you on that, okay? Thanks very much. So I'll ask Anwar to come up now just to complement what Anna-Kaisa said about the work we're doing on maritime routes. Thanks, Anwar.
Yes, thank you, Olaf. Just to complement what my colleague Anna-Kaisa said in terms of the energy angle, to say again that we're closely engaged with our partners in the Gulf and in the Middle East to limit the impact of the military escalation. Why? Because the security of the Strait of Hormuz and the Gulf region is our strategic priority. We are committed to help safeguard maritime routes and ensure the uninterrupted flow of energy and goods. Our maritime operations, SPDES and Atalanta, remain in the region to continue delivering their protection tasks and monitor the situation closely. In terms of numbers, SPDES protected 606 merchant vessels and supported the safe passage of over 1,000 more. And as the regional security situation changes, we will continue to assess how to help restore freedom of navigation and maritime security in the region through our operations.
Thank you, Anwar. As we have Anwar on stage, we will open the floor for foreign affairs questions. Je commence par Odile.
Merci Olaf. Odile Harvey pour Radio Nord-Bretagne. On assiste à la guerre des attaques aériennes, des missiles, des drones, et maintenant nous avons la guerre de l'eau. J'aimerais savoir si effectivement les attaques des installations de dessalement à Bahreïn et dans d'autres États, est-ce que la République islamique d'Iran n'enfreint pas de ce fait le droit de la guerre et le droit international? Et qu'est-ce qu'on peut faire aussi pour les aider?
Merci Odile. Sur ce plan, nous appelons à la plus grande retenue et au plein respect du droit international, comme nous l'avons déjà fait lors de la déclaration qui a été négociée et publiée au nom de la haute représentante, au nom de l'Union européenne. Et dans ce cadre-là, y compris des principes de la Charte des Nations Unies et du droit international humanitaire. Le Moyen-Orient risque de subir de lourdes pertes s'agissant de la situation sur le terrain. Donc nous réaffirmons encore une fois notre attachement à la stabilité régionale et à la protection des civils, puisque les attaques auxquelles tu te réfères également touchent les civils sur le terrain.
Merci Anouar. Follow-up?
Another question. Vu que l'Arabie saoudite a été attaquée et que c'est quand même un État extrêmement important dans la région, siège en plus de la Mecque, etc. Comment vous voyez les interventions du président Erdogan? Il semble être bien placé pour jouer un rôle de médiateur dans cette crise. Et peut-être qu'on aura une bonne surprise pour le 20 mars, la fin du Ramadan.
Merci Odile. J'ai du mal à saisir le périmètre de ta question, mais quoi qu'il en soit, nous ne commentons pas les commentaires, et encore moins en termes de spéculation s'agissant des jours ou des semaines à venir. Mais s'agissant de l'angle saoudien auquel tu te réfères, je rappellerai que la semaine dernière s'est tenue une ministérielle entre l'Union européenne et le Conseil de coopération des États du Golfe pour réaffirmer notre solidarité avec les pays du Conseil de coopération du Golfe qui ont été durement touchés, afin également de rappeler notre attachement à la stabilité régionale, la protection des civils et au plein respect du droit international. Et comme l'a fait Olof récemment, rappeler également qu'une réunion est en cours au niveau des leaders avec nos partenaires dans la région qui montrent encore une fois notre mobilisation continue et notre expression de solidarité vis-à-vis d'eux sur le terrain.
Merci Anouar. Y a-t-il d'autres questions pour Anouar? Je ne vois pas de main levée dans la salle de presse, so I go online. I have Alex from TVP World.
Hello, can you see me and hear me? It's actually related to the seized cash and gold seized by Hungary. I'm not sure if that's exactly the right.
Alex, we'll come back to you in a second. Just want to check if any other questions are directly for Anouar. I have Alexandra.
Yes, hello. Do you hear me and see me well?
Yes,
hello?
Please. Go ahead.
I would like to know a little bit about the European Union's naval mission Aspides. Anwar, we know that during the last FAC, France pledged to contribute to the reinforcement of the naval mission with 2 naval ships. And actually, this is going to be one of the issues that will be raised during Mr. Macron's visit today to Cyprus. So I was wondering whether other member states have already pledged to reinforce this mission. Are you in contact with other member states? How do you coordinate regarding Aspides? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. I will not be here from this podium elaborating in terms of member states' contribution, and even less so in terms of speculating what could be or what will be announced in the upcoming days. What I can say is welcoming all the initiatives from member states that contribute to the credible and efficient response needed to tackle the challenges and risks of an active war theatre in the Middle East. We do welcome the excellent coordination and support with the existing maritime operations Aspides and Atalanta, and it is essential to maintain and reinforce this coordination in a volatile environment. In terms of the member states angle that you have raised, we are exploring how to strengthen our presence together with our contributing member states, but I will not here delve into the operational aspects.
Thanks, Anouar. Do we have any other questions for Anouar? Please go ahead.
Oui, bonjour. Adrien Decalan, l'agence France-Presse. J'avais une question sur le nouveau guide suprême en Iran. Comment vous accueillez son arrivée?
Merci pour la question. Je ne vais pas m'appesantir sur la chose. autre que une prise de note de l'annonce d'un nouveau guide suprême en Iran. Par contre, je rappellerai que ce régime a commis des actions en violation du droit international, tant sur le point de vue des engagements du JCPOA, donc du plan d'action commun, que de leurs engagements s'agissant du traité de non-prolifération. La liste est longue. Je pourrais également mentionner les violations des droits de l'homme à l'aune des massacres qui ont été commis lors du soulèvement populaire, avec des milliers de leurs concitoyens, dont des milliers de leurs propres enfants tués, assassinés, par un régime qui est un régime d'oppression, de répression et de suppression. On peut ajouter également à la liste les menaces contre l'Union européenne, s'agissant des activités hybrides sur le sol européen et également des arrestations arbitraires de citoyens européens. Sur ce point, en termes de direction, de nouvelle direction iranienne, vous l'appellerez comme vous le souhaitez, j'insisterai sur un point, que c'est au peuple iranien de choisir ses représentants. Quant à nous, Union européenne, nous continuerons de protéger notre sécurité ainsi que nos intérêts, en particulier pour empêcher l'Iran d'acquérir l'arme nucléaire dont ils ne doivent pas être dotés, et également de freiner le programme de missiles balistiques et mettre fin à ces activités déstabilisatrices dans la région et en Europe. Nous continuerons également de contribuer à tous les efforts diplomatiques qui visent à réduire les tensions et à trouver une solution durable à ce conflit. Et un point final de solidarité vis-à-vis du peuple iranien. Nous soutenons l'aspiration pleine et légitime de tous les Iraniens à un avenir où leurs droits humains universels et leurs libertés fondamentales seront respectés et protégés.
Merci, Anwar. And just to add very quickly that President von der Leyen, in her speech to the EU Ambassadors Conference earlier this morning, very strong speech, which I would encourage you all to read. She said, the people of Iran deserve freedom, dignity and the right to decide their own future. So I think that very much fits with what Anwar has just presented. Other questions for Anwar? Attends, Odile, je vais juste voir s'il y a une question. Alina, is your question for Anwar?
Hello, do you hear me?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Alina Sansonia for ARD German Television. Very sorry if that was answered already. It's on the VTC today. Could you tell us a little bit more about the talking points, and will there be a press release or anything that we can expect in the aftermath? Thank you.
Thank you, Alina. We answered this question a little earlier, but I can repeat, we're not going to say anything about the content of the meeting just now. We'll let you know afterwards what the plan in terms of communication is. Thank you for your patience. Odile.
Merci. Oui, c'est follow-up to la question du confrère de l'AFP sur le nouveau guide suprême Mojtaba Khamenei. J'ai entendu ce matin qu'il est sur la liste des sanctions européennes. Est-ce que c'est vrai ou est-ce que c'est des fake news? Merci.
Merci Odile. Permets-moi de clarifier ce point, tout en mentionnant que d'ailleurs la liste des sanctions de l'Union européenne est accessible au grand public. Sur ce point, Mojtaba Khamenei ne fait pas l'objet de sanctions de l'Union européenne. Les décisions relatives à de nouvelles mesures restrictives sont prises par le Conseil, et ce, à l'unanimité des 27 États membres.
Merci, Anwar. Do we have other questions for Anwar? I don't see hands online or in the room, so we come back to Alex, if you're still there, Alex.
Yeah, thank you so much. As I said, it's been 4 days since the cash and gold was seized by Hungary, Ukrainian cash and gold transiting from Austria. The Polish foreign minister saying that cash and gold was stolen. The Ukrainian foreign minister asking for European partners to speak out. I wondered if the Commission wants to do so.
Thanks very much for the question. We have no additional elements to add to what was said on Friday. It is for member state authorities, including national judicial authorities, to investigate individual cases and also to explain their reasons for doing so.
Many thanks for that clear answer, Marcus. Do we have other questions for Marcus on this topic? I don't see any other hands raised, so you can change topic as long as it's for Marcus. Go ahead.
Lumenica Toma, public broadcaster of Moldova, Teleradio Moldova. In Republic of Moldova, the parliament has voting to lower the threshold for the approval of the commission, vetting commission member. So the civil society is deeply concerned over the constitutionality of this procedure. Some say that not even during the communist ruling such abuses were possible. But on the other hand, the ruling party's experts say that this initiative is a legal mechanism for unblocking the process of evaluating the prosecutors, which is necessary to maintain the pace of the undertaken reforms. So I would really want to know the Commission stance on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question. The Commission takes note of the amendment adopted by the Parliament of Moldova, which modifies the procedure for the appointment of international members of the Vetting Commission and moves from a qualified majority to a simple majority vote. Now, reforms related to the rule of law and justice are central to Moldova's EU accession process. Any such reforms should be conducted in a transparent and inclusive manner with proper consultation with all relevant stakeholders. Cross-party support for key justice reforms is important to ensure their representativity and their implementation in the long run. And now we invite the Moldovan Parliament to submit the legislative amendment to the Venice Commission for their review.
Thank you, Marcus. Do we have other questions for Marcus? I don't see hands in the room or online, therefore we can change topics. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Ron Papid Nipsava. Hungarian elections are coming, you might have heard. According to media reports, Russia sent social media manipulation experts to work at the Russian embassy in Budapest, where they will use diplomatic passports to intervene in the Hungarian elections. So I was wondering whether, are you aware of any kind of Russian interference? And also, what can the EU do to combat such manipulation? Thank you.
Hello, Roland. Let me start first with an important reminder. Elections are a national competence. Europe stands for free and fair elections, and they must be the sole choice of our citizens. With that being said, we all know it. Russia has put in place a massive digital infrastructure to carry out FIMI operations, and especially before, during, and after elections. In this context, the European Union and the Commission have put in place a large amount of very important and firm actions to protect our information space and to protect our democratic resilience. I can mention a couple of them for you if you want. First, the Digital Services Act, which holds online platforms accountable, making sure that their systems are not amplifying such disinformation threats in the context of elections. You also have, of course, the Rapid Alert System, where the EEAS facilitates discussions between member states and the European Union. Anita will be happy to complement on this one if needed. And then, of course, I mean, this is also the reason why we have proposed the Democracy Shield. The Democracy Shield is there precisely for this reason also, to boost societal resilience, to protect our information space, and to guarantee free and fair elections. So let me recall, yes, we have put in measures in place to make sure that these elections remain the sole choice of our citizens without any interference.
Thank you, Thomas. Follow-up.
Yes, a follow-up on this. I mean, the Hungarian case is a bit specific because basically the government has the same goal as Putin to keep Orban in power, and some of the state institutions are serving the interests of the governing party right now in Hungary. So how does this function, and what specifically you can do in this case?
We can do precisely what I have been mentioning as examples. I mean, you say Hungary is a very specific case. I can tell you that from our point of view, the objective remains absolutely the same, guaranteeing that the upcoming elections in Hungary will be the sole choice of Hungarian citizens. No matter whom they vote for, it must be a choice of the Hungarian people for their own future.
Thanks very much. Karl.
Yes, Thomas. So it's not only Hungary, and Slovenia is first on the 22nd of March. Denmark comes just afterwards, and I researched this year there will be elections in Bulgaria, Sweden, Latvia, and Cyprus. So can you please tell us if some of these member states ask for specific assistance from the EU to fight against FIMI? Thank you.
So, for many of these member states, we'll have to check. What I can confirm is that the Commission indeed took place in a roundtable that was organized by the Hungarian authorities last week. There we took place in a DSA roundtable. Let me recall the objectives of this roundtable. This is a step that is usually taken if member states want to do so. This is voluntary and up to member states to decide if they want to go for it or not. The Hungarian authorities decided to organize a roundtable with large online platforms, social media platforms that operate also at national level, precisely to guarantee that elections are carried out in a free and fair manner without social media platforms and their services being misused to boost foreign interference. So yes, we participated in that, and this is a usual thing that we do when the national authorities organize a roundtable.
Thank you, Thomas. Do we have other questions for Thomas? Musa?
Okay. Thanks, Jan Olof. Yes, it's also follow-up about the upcoming elections in Hungary, because there we know that there are going to be an election observation mission, But the question not only about the risk of foreign interference and manipulation from Russia, but also whether the playing field will be a level one, equal for all parties, the opposition and the government, and that might not be the case in Hungary. So I wonder, is that something which also was discussed at this meeting with the Hungarian authorities to guarantee a level playing field this time, because it was not level last time in 2022?
Look, the last few questions have been asked here. You're inserting a lot of speculation into your questions. Thomas has answered what the role of the Commission is when requested by Member States in relation to elections, and that is the role we will continue to execute faithfully and to the best of our ability. And we're not going to say anything more on this topic now, unless you can ask us a question that makes more sense. So, on that note, are there other questions for Thomas? Don't see hands raised. Do we have other questions on any other topics today? Okay, then before... Tu as une dernière question, Odile? Okay, vas-y.
Odile Harvey for Radio Nord-Bretagne. This weekend, Tom Fletcher, the UN Under-Secretary General for Humanitarian Affairs and Emergency Relief, launched a dramatic appeal about the worldwide dramatic humanitarian situation in Lebanon, where there are Syrians, people from Syria that are coming, fleeing. There are so many displaced people. There's Gaza, there is Sudan, there is the Eastern Republic of Congo, Ukraine, you name it. So can you give us an update of what the humanitarian action from the EU, how can they cope with this dramatic situation? Thank you.
Thank you, Odile. I will ask Eva to answer your question.
Obviously, we follow very closely the situation in the Middle East, and I cannot give you the details right now because we are looking into the situation. We are prepared to support the people who are and who will be in need due to the conflict, due to the outbreak of the conflict in the Middle East. We have already published our budget for this year, but you know that we are very operational, and in case of necessity, we are ready to step up our effort in the Middle East regarding the humanitarian needs.
Thank you very much, Eva. Anwar, do you want to come up and maybe add compliment on Lebanon? Just before I do that, are there any other questions for Eva? I don't see any other questions for Eva. Okay, so Anwar, if you want to come up and just offer any additional lines from your side, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Olaf. Maybe just before going to Lebanon, to complement what my colleague Eva said in terms of the situation in Gaza, which we are obviously closely following, and we do encourage all parties to act with restraint, not to engage in activities that could threaten the ceasefire, and to focus on progress in terms of the implementation of phase 2 of the plan. Hamas must disarm in line with the comprehensive plan to end the Gaza conflict and with the UN Security Council Resolution 2803. We do reiterate that there must be no future role for Hamas in the governance of Gaza. And in terms of humanitarian aid, we do call for opening of all border crossings to allow aid in, and at the same time not forgetting what is happening in the West Bank in terms of the escalatory situation, in terms of the settlements that we have already been quite vocal on in terms of the latest decisions. Now, on Lebanon that you have raised, Odile, I think it is quite important to have a moment to explain our position on the situation on the ground, which is quite worrying and concerning. The European Union calls for immediate de-escalation in Lebanon and bilateral dialogue between Israel and Lebanon to reach a security agreement. We strongly condemn Hezbollah's attack and sidelining with Iran, and we commend the decision of the Lebanese authorities to declare illegal aid military activities of Hezbollah and IRGC. We urge Hezbollah to immediately disarm and stop all attacks against Israel. We also call on Israel to cease its ground operations, violating Lebanon's sovereignty and territorial integrity. We call all sides to protect the civilians and civilian infrastructure, and also refrain from actions resulting in more displacement of population. As for the people of Lebanon, we as EU, we do stand by the Lebanese people, and we will continue to support the country in its efforts towards reforms and stabilization, providing humanitarian aid, and encourage all diplomatic initiatives to restore peace. At the same time, we do reaffirm our strong support to UNIFIL in carrying out its mandate and urge all parties to abstain from any action that endangers peacekeepers' life or the fulfillment of their mandate.
Many thanks to both Anwar and Eva for that very comprehensive answer. I think we're drawing to a close, folks. Just before we wrap up, one small correction from my side. At the start, when I was going through Commissioners' agenda items, I listed 3 commissioners participating in the Eurogroup. In fact, there are only 2, those being Commissioner Dombrovskis and Commissioner Jorgensen. And Commissioner Dombrovskis, as I mentioned earlier, will take the press conference that happens after that Eurogroup meeting. So with that, dear friends, we wish you a happy Monday. All the best.